What up, everybody? This is me, Mr. Busby, out in the 408, San Jose, California.
And out here in the 424, it is your boy JC No Hundreds, a.k.a. Slurricane Cole, back in effect.
And I'm drinking that Canada Dry, as always.
Hell yeah.
And this is episode 63 of the Illogical Sense podcast.
I told you, man. We in the ugly numbers, man.
We in the ugly numbers. It got to the point I started forgetting. Like, I asked you right before we recorded, like, what number are we on right now?
Exactly.
And I was like, shit, man, 63, these motherfuckers.
Exactly. The ugly numbers will do that to you. You start trying to remember who the linemen are, and then even when you get into basketball, you like, damn, that's where that nigga went? No wonder I didn't recognize him. He done switched from number 22 to 67.
You stupid. Not a showing hardball, motherfucker. We have Monday Night Football on, as always, and watching the Chiefs go against the Broncos. And besides all that, our weekends were boring.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I drove back home from visiting home. That's basically the highlight of my weekend. And then I finished my final project for school.
That's what's up.
Finished the course. Another A in the books. That's 5 classes. 5 classes, 5 A's.
That's cool. Oh, smart ass nigga.
Hell yeah. No, wait, 5 or 6? Shit, it's probably 6. Actually, all I know is I got straight A's. That's all I know.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Calvin got a job. Ass nigga. Calvin got a job, head ass nigga. Well, me, I wasn't doing all that shit. I was working, and then I guess I watched Stranger Things, because it's like the second season. So, and plus, that trailer they released with the whole... with the Michael Jackson Thriller shit playing in the background. Yeah, I remember my friend said, I got like hella text messages. Everyone knows I'm a Michael fan.
Right.
And as soon as I heard Vincent Price, I was like, yup. Speaking of Michael, last Friday there was the that Michael Jackson Halloween special that was on CBS.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Nah, but you were telling me about it.
Yeah, I told you about it, and my mom watched it. Me and my mom both watched it, and I watched it because I'm a Michael fan, so I just have to watch it.
Right, it's only right.
I just have to watch, no matter how I feel about it. The concept of it, I have to watch it, and it was a cartoon, and I guess it talked about 2 kids that go to this place hotel, based off the song,
right,
and. I forgot the rest. It was just a whole bunch of Michael Jackson songs playing in the background. The animation was cool. Michael does make an appearance in full Thriller getup, and other than that, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, I still watched it. It's still nice, but whatever.
Yeah, that's how it be, man.
Yeah. Then I went to the movies. I saw Thank You for Your Service. It was with Miles Teller.
Yeah, how was that one?
Miles Teller. It was a tearjerker. Like, pretty much the story is about these guys that come back from Iraq. They're in the army, and they have post-traumatic stress, and they're dealing with it.
Of course.
And that's pretty much what it is. You know who also who's in the movie? I would say she made a cameo, but she didn't really make a cameo. She was actually in the movie. Was Amy Schremer?
Really?
Yeah, they didn't even promote her that much in the trailers and shit, but yeah, she's in the shit. She's actually showing range as an actress.
Probably for good reason, because when people, there's certain actors and actresses that you see that you're accustomed with comedy or action dramas only, where when they start, showing their range, you don't really necessarily take them for what it is at first.
Yeah.
So that was very smart marketing, if that's the case.
Yeah, because she just popped up, but I was like, is that Amy Schremer? Oh, shit. And she had no makeup on. She was looking a hot mess. I mean, I'll refrain my judgment for how she truly looks, but even with makeup, but that's another fucking story. I saw another movie, too. I feel like I saw another movie. Oh, I saw Jigsaw.
Yeah, I heard not so good things about that.
I mean, did you like the Saw series?
I liked them up until midway through 3. After that, I was like, all right, I get the point. And then when it got to 4, I was like, all right,
Yeah, that motherfucker died in the 3rd one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say spoilers, but if
you haven't seen it by now, that's your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah, so when it got to the 4th one and, you have somebody that's new taking over, then it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, but it's just, this one is... I mean, if you like the series, it's all right. if it came out like around the same time period.
Right.
It was like it's been 7 years since the last movie, and the guy who played Jigsaw, he's still alive actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's still alive. He still looks the same too. I know, that's what I said. But movie's decent. It was entertaining. Would I see it again? No. Should have went straight to DVD, but
should have went straight to Netflix. You know that's the new wave now because ain't nobody watching DVDs no more.
Well, you got Redbox.
Yeah, well, you also got Netflix
and Fire Stick.
Yeah, shit. That's the new wave, man.
It is. It really is the new wave. But yeah, and I guess we could stay with entertainment. There was a death again, yet another death in Hollywood, in Black Hollywood, I guess.
There was. I want to say rest in peace to Robert Guillaume. Yes. He passed away last Tuesday, October 24th, of prostate cancer. Actually out here in LA. He was 89 years old. The name's not going to ring a bell with a lot of younger cats unless you name. Actually, he's only going to ring a bell for only one of his roles. He's really known to the old heads for playing Benson in the series Soap. But to everybody our age, we all know and love him for playing Rafiki in The Lion King.
And The Lion King.
Yeah.
And also, you know him as Morgan Freeman's homeboy in Lean On Me.
Yep.
If you've seen that part. You know.
Mr. Sam's. Mr. Sam's.
Mr. Sam's.
You smoke crack, don't you?
You smoke crack, don't you? Speaking of that dude, did you know that dude got caught up for weed again?
He did?
Yeah.
Damn.
Again.
Damn,
yeah.
Mr. Sam's.
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Damn, Mr. Sam, shit, you're supposed to end it.
If you want to fuck up your life, you better do it expeditiously.
Yeah, shit, man. You were supposed to leave character after Lean On Me, not further go into it.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, he fucked up his life.
Shit.
You want to fuck up your life? Do it expeditiously. I didn't know what the fuck that meant, but that was like a big ass word when I was a kid.
One of them T.I. words.
If you gonna fuck up your life, son, you better do it expeditiously. I sound too much like Austin.
Yep. You remind me of a jackass.
Jackass. You gonna expect me to smile? You remind me of a jackass.
Yeah. But yes, R.I.P. to Sir Robert.
We hella went off topic.
Right.
With that,
yeah. It's all right though. I think he from how people described him, I don't think he would have minded that. I think he would have preferred it.
Yeah. But we stay with the entertainment, I guess. Cardi B. Well, last week we talked about Cardi B and Offset, I guess, breaking up and making up, and I guess Offset realized that, you know what, she's the love of my life. Mm-hmm. So. I guess was it in Philly?
Yeah, it was on stage in Philly last Friday, I think.
For the Powerhouse, he got on his knees and he just didn't say nothing. He was, they had, I don't know, in front of all thousands of fans and shit.
He tapped her. And he didn't get on a knee. He was going like he was going on a knee, and then he just squatted, hit him with that smooth squat.
He got on his knee, though.
Yeah, but then he got up and hit her with the smooth squat because the knee was taking too long.
True. And, Cardi was just going, oh my god, and whipping her hair like her wig was about to fly off and shit.
Right. Yep.
So I guess they're married now. I guess
they ain't married. But they're engaged.
I mean, they're engaged, but whatever. That's the type of relationships they fight, they make up, and then you propose. So
basically,
but that wasn't the only news that Cardi B went. Not only that, Cardi B just now today she was revealed on the cover of Rolling Stone. So,
man, 2017 is Cardi B's year.
Cardi B, greatest, best year, dog. She said at the beginning of the year she hopes she gets a top 10 on Billboard, and not only she get a top 10, she got a #1 single on Billboard.
Got Rolling Stones cover, and she got an engagement ring.
And not only that, she outspit Nicki Minaj. And that might as well go into this little topic. So Migos made. I guess they're preparing to promote their follow-up album, The Culture 2.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's rumors, if they announced it, whatever, but supposedly Kanye's supposed to be executive producing.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I guess. So they were saying, as I remember, there was little rumors going around that Nicki and Cardi are going to be on the same record with Migos. So everyone's like, oh, shit.
Right.
Everyone's going like, oh, shit. And I'm like, okay. Even I was, surprised. So then the record dropped, and Okay, how can I say this?
You want me to take over right here?
You can kind of talk about you can talk about it.
Song was fucking garbage. That's what happened.
Okay, I won't say the song was garbage. Look, it was blah.
Nah, it wasn't blah. The song was fucking garbage. I will go over in depth and I will pass it back to you because I know the reason why you didn't want to go as hard is because you have what you need to say.
What?
So I'm gonna break this song down. We all know and love Quavo for his infectiously catchy hooks. I couldn't tell you where the fuck the hook started on this song and where it ended, where the verse ended, and where it went back to the hook. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the hell was going on. And as I'm listening to it, I'm trying to figure out why the hell do they sound out of their element? Like, because we know what a Migos record sounds like. Mm-hmm. And this did not. They sounded like this was a demo from back in 2012. So I'm listening. I'm like, why do they sound like this? Like, what the hell's going on? Offset came in. He did his flow and he did his thing as per usual. And then Cardi B comes up.
She spit her ass off on that.
Cardi spit, man. That's one thing. She was
spitting.
That's one thing I'll say about Cardi B. I wasn't up on her for the first two installments of her mixtape series. I just got on board with Bodak Yellow, so I plan on going back and listening more. One thing I've noticed with Bodak Yellow and her verse on Motorsport, she has this hunger in her voice. Mm-hmm. It's so damn appealing to listen to.
Yes, she does.
Like she's a spitter. She can rap. Mm-hmm. And
regardless of people don't believe that she wrote her raps, but it's just like, really, does it? Like in my eye, I was like, really, you don't believe that shit until it's proved otherwise. She writes her raps,
right?
Fuck it.
But for all intents and purposes, she's a rapper, and it's refreshing to hear a rapper come in with this mode of I'm coming from somewhere that I will never go back to, and this is how I do it to make sure I don't do that.
Yes.
She has that. So when she's spitting, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, maybe they were just setting this up for her.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the hook, and I'm like, okay. Then that's when it dawns on me, oh yeah, Nicki's on this record. Okay, maybe they were setting all this up to let them take the shine. So
yes,
Nicki comes up, and not even 4 bars into it, there is a distinct difference in the verses. That shit sounded manufactured like a motherfucker.
For real.
It did not sound...
shit was trash.
Yeah,
her verse was trash,
It didn't sound fresh. It didn't sound like it was an idea that came from the top of her head. That shit sounded like it came from a record label factory. They were just like, here, put this out. It's going to go on the Billboard.
And she had 24 bars. That's the thing. She had the longest verse on the record, like on some Eminem shit.
Right. And so as it's continuously going on, she's saying a lot of the same shit that she's been saying
for years.
The last 3 years now. And I'm like, when are you going to switch this up? Because you just let a rookie FemC come on here and she showed her ass. And you just showing that your ass.
And before you Barbz, if any of you Barbz listen to this shit, I'm just let y'all know right now, we are not being biased because we're not being biased towards Nicki because she's a female MC and all this other shit.
No, we're not. We're
just telling you what it is. She has not progressed. She has really digressed since she broke up with Safari. She has digressed. She's been trash
completely.
Just hella completely from it. And man, you can keep going with the songs. I'm about to just go on now.
Yeah, and to
to
piggyback on what you were saying as far as us potentially being biased against her because she's a FemC, we can kill that right now because I guarantee you that artists like Rhapsody, Nitty Scott, and several other FemCs are gonna find Drizzy. All those who released albums this year, they're definitely going to be in candidacy for our end of the year album and under the radar list. It's not that. Trust you me.
And another thing, I completely respect Nicki for all the accomplishments she's done when it comes to record sales. She's in a class of her own, like as a female rapper per se. She's broke records.
Because there's no disputing that.
Like, there's no disputing.
You can't dispute that. Success is success.
But when it comes to this rap shit,
the last 3 years, she's been trash.
Trash. She's and the sad thing about it, she's been showing spurts of it. She shows spurts that she's still kind of good, but then she becomes absolutely trash.
Right. That's all I got from this. And when it ended, I was so pissed off at her because she
pissed me off.
Yeah, because she had me looking at Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff like they didn't drink.
Why did you allow this shit?
Yeah, like I'm looking at them like, what the fuck's wrong with y'all niggas? Like, what the hell? Why'd you allow this? But I'm thinking from the standpoint of solely the label. Not even that. I'm solely thinking of just the artistry. Because I know what Migos is capable of. They have their lane, and they ride in that motherfucker well. And then when you get out of artistry mode, and then you factor in, as you were saying, the label move, potentially having Kanye executive produce the record, this being something that would be in Kanye's lane, when you had the Good Friday series, and then just him just dropping records just to get people prepared. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I don't like it, but politics is politics.
But then when you look at it, it just says, when you look at the actual record itself, it doesn't say Migos featuring. It says Migos and then comma Cardi, Nicki.
Yeah.
And it's like they're pretty much, it's a single. I don't even think it's a Culture 2 record. I don't even think it's the first single.
God,
no. I think this was just forced from the label. The label made them do this record. The label forced this shit to happen. That's what it sounded like. And when it came, and then even when it came back, it was just like, this is like hella forgettable. And it was just, and then if we could just really go into it when it comes to Cardi and Nicki, I noticed that when this record dropped, both Cardi and Nicki were very silent on social media.
Yeah.
Very silent. And I was like, that's interesting. I mean, Cardi was retweeting people saying that they liked their verse and shit, but she didn't really say that much. She did post it on her Instagram and all this other shit, added Nicki and Migos, but that was pretty much it. And then she just went about her business. And Nicki, she waited 2 days to fucking say something.
Took forever.
Even though she has me blocked, I be lurking her fucking page just to see what the fuck she says. She didn't say one word, not even on Instagram. She didn't say anything until Sunday night. Now, I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. I don't know what's going on, but she decided to not only post a song, but she posted her entire verse. And
okay. Go ahead. This is your time to shine, man. Go ahead.
No. Shut up. She's been doing this for the past few months. She's been posting her lyrics. I think since No Frauds came out. No, not even since No Frauds came out. I'll say for the past year or a half, she's been posting the lyrics to her song. And she's trying to break it down like she's some lyrical miracle shit. She's trying to break down her verses on some Lupe Fiasco shit. Dead ass.
Yo, you sent me the link and I just stared at it like, really? Seriously?
And she posted it, and she's all putting she's trying to do some rap genius shit, posting little thought bubbles by it and shit like that, and I'm she's pretty much saying I'm nice. This is the first time she ever wrote a rap before in her life. What? And then she goes on Twitter and she's still posting this shit, and her little fans are going oh my god, this shit's hella good. Oh my god, Nicki, you making me go through Google stuff. Oh, I bet you guys didn't know who Jim Lombardi is. I swear to God, I nearly threw my phone.
Vince Lombardi.
She said Jim Lombardi. That's what she said.
Oh, that's even worse.
She said Jim Lombardi, bruh. I guess you guys had to go. I need to Google that. You old basic bitch. Does she really she's breaking down her lyrics like she's Jay-Z or some shit?
Yeah.
Do you really think we are as basic as you? Really? That's that Trump mentality. Trump be lying through his fucking ass off, thinking that I was oh, they're stupid. They ain't gonna realize it. No, nigga, you're stupid.
Right?
Man, and then she goes on Twitter and she says some other shit. What else did she say? She said, yeah, you got to have a certain amount of intelligence to understand my lyrics. What?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, you know.
No, I was thinking, no, she's trolling. No, she meant that shit. That's the thing. She meant that shit, and she wasn't trolling either. She meant that shit. Pick that shit off. Sorry, I was watching football. So, for the past, ever since this record dropped, I think since No Frauds, I have become public enemy number one to the Barbz. Just last year, I was public enemy number one to the OVO fans when it came to Drake. Yeah. Now, I am public enemy number one to the Barbz, and I fucking welcome it. For the past, ever since I posted a tweet about what Nicki broke down her lyrics, and I said, No. I think it was before this record dropped. What did she do? She goes on a whole Twitter rant about what was she dissing? What was she talking about? She's talking about some dumb shit, saying that how I'm one of the best MCs and there's sexism in the industry, and even your favorite rappers don't have to deal with this like how I do it. And if your favorite rapper wants to do a record with me, that's because the label forced him to and shit like that. And I was all going like, oh, okay, so it looks like your album is shelved. So now you're trying to pull the feminist card.
Exactly. To me, that's that bullshit right there, man. Like, seriously.
She does this every time. She does this every time she doesn't get her way. She pulls out the race or the feminist card. When she doesn't get her way, she pulls this dumb shit. And it gets annoying. So I posted that shit, and I guess some barb got a hold of it. And for the past weekend, they were in my mentions tough, calling me all sorts of bitches and hoes and you ugly. And she's talking about sexism in the industry and how you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, are you serious? And first I entertained it, but then I just kept looking at my mentions. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are still going.
Yeah, man.
And you wonder why I dissed them. And I was getting to the point, like, all you talk about is Drake and Nicki, coming from somebody that I don't follow, and he don't follow me. But he knows about me, so hey. And then one of the podcasts said, yeah, just like your trash ass SoundCloud link in your fucking bio. Well, this is the Illogical Sense podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening.
Appreciate it, my nigga.
Appreciate it. Shit, man.
Hey, you do got a trash ass SoundCloud link in your bio, though. I would know. I got that same link.
I got that same one too. People are calling me a Nicki hater. I am not a fucking Nicki hater, bro. I talk about this all the damn time, man. I see what she's capable of, and she's shitting it away. And she's very, very delusional now, like she thinks she's the shit. No, you know what the fuck happened? I said it once. I said it again. I'll say it one last time. Sheether. After Sheether, nothing was the same.
Are you dumb?
Are you dumb? And that's pretty much what sums her up this year. She had the worst year ever. Sorry. She had the worst year ever. Her only achievement this year was Rack It Up going platinum.
Yeah, because it wasn't just Sheether did that. Aside from Rack It Up, I mean, granted she participated. Still, it wasn't her record. I mean, you could still push and promote.
It wasn't her record. It was Yo Gotti's record.
Yeah, it was Gotti's record. When we actually get to her as a solo artist, she had 3 singles that did absolute shit. And the only reason why No Fraud went on the charts was because it came out that she was responding back to Remy. So everybody was in the mood to listen to it. So, of course, when you listen to something that's going to be streamed, it's going to rise up the goddamn billboards.
We got to explain this shit again.
Yeah. But I agree with you. She's having a horrible 2017. And now, last month, she's like, yeah, album's coming out end of October. We're at the end of October, and the only album left is Briss Brown dropping tomorrow with his 45-track triathlon.
Oh, yeah, that comes out like tomorrow, actually, on Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We got to listen to that bullshit. So I ain't going to listen to this shit.
You don't have to listen to that like you don't have to binge listen like it's a fucking Netflix series.
That's like 20 fucking songs, but that's besides the point. Nicki's had the worst year ever, and she's going to keep thinking that she's won, and she's been on the cover of all this shit. Oh, she's a brand. She's done this. Nicki hasn't done shit musically. She's been trash. And even when she performed No Frauds and all them other fucking records on receipt at the NBA Music Awards, NBA Awards, and how no one gave a fuck about that. And then she lost her best female rapper for the first time at the BET Awards to her enemy. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
She had the worst year ever. And it's going to get worse. So, yeah, she's probably going to drop an album this year, and that shit's going to flop. Well, I don't think it's gonna fly. Yeah, it probably will. It's gonna be disappointing for her.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to break it to y'all, Barbz, but you gotta look at yourselves in the mirror and you gotta be honest with yourselves. Now I know I know it's hard for you because as my co-host and one of my brothers just said, y'all some basic bitches. But you know, we here at the Illogical Sense, we are offering, you know, our wisdom, and this is a safe haven for you to, you know, be yourselves and be honest. Out in the streets of Twitterville, you can lie for the people. You can tell them that Nicki doing it, and she keeps repping for the culture. But when you with us, you have to keep it real. And keeping it real, this is just the third consecutive year where she's just been ass. Period. Point blank.
Third consecutive year. What? She was ass last year?
She was ass when they were getting ready to prep Pink Print.
Pink Print, okay, like I said, Pink Print was not that bad, bro.
No.
See, you hear me, Barbz?
No.
I said Pink Print was not that bad. It was just for women.
No.
See, now my co-host, he thinks otherwise.
I'm gonna need you to take your basic ass and look in the mirror, Busby. Now out in the streets in Twitterville, you can say what you need to say. But this is me and you here, okay? You're gonna have to keep this shit real with me now.
I'm keeping it real. I'm telling you my opinion. I didn't mind Pink Print, besides Anaconda and, you know, other shows. Oh, shit. Go, Alex.
Anaconda was good, but not because of the song, but because of the video.
Oh, the video
I could watch that
amazing.
video all day. You right about that.
On mute?
Easily.
But,
oh, yeah.
But other than that, when it comes to Nicki Minaj, I'm low-key she's delusional. She's low-key losing her mind because Cardi B has taken her throne. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about because Joe Budden pointed this out, I guess on Everyday Struggle, that verse, those two verses are on some 4, 3, 2, 1 Cannabis, LL, T.I., ludicrous shit.
Hey, yo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8.
Blaze the hot Trizac, sound like heaven. Yeah, for hip-hop heads, they know all about that scenario.
Now, yeah, pretty much. If y'all know that, should we even explain it to them?
Nah, this is one of them ones where if you ain't up on game, you got homework from the Illogical Sense this week. Go do your homework. Go look up 4321, LL Cool J, Method Man, Redman, Cannabis. DMX was even on it too.
Yep, DMX. That's how you got introduced.
Yeah,
that record.
Yeah,
and then go listen to T.I. Go listen to Young Buck featuring T.I. and fucking
Ludacris. Stomp.
And there's a reason why Game was on the other remix.
Yeah.
So just do your research, people. Because at the end of the day, Cardi and Nicki, that beef is boiling. And it's going to happen. I told everyone this shit was going to happen. It's going to happen. Whether you like it or not. It's going to be Nicki versus Lil' Kim all over again. This time, Nicki is Lil' Kim.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, to wrap it up on this final point, you saw the picture of Remy and Lil' Kim teaming up, right?
Yeah, that shit's stupid, man.
It's stupid as hell.
Remy needs to just let it go.
It's stupid as hell, but I'm here for all the fuckery.
I know you are. You're always welcome to it, but Remy's forgetting Law 47, the 48 Laws of Power. She needs to know when to fall back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, come on, you won the war. Why are you going to keep going? And now you're going to go. And then they're saying that she's going to be poking jabs at her and Nas's relationship. That means you're getting at Nas too. Do you really want Nas as an enemy?
Yeah, because, well, I don't know. Because, you know, if we talking about 2001 Nas, you don't want them problems. If we talking about 2017...
Man, don't wake up Nas, man. Do not wake up Nas.
Hey, man.
Don't wake up Nas,
hey,
bro.
There's a reason why I'm trying to wake his ass up, all right? He lied to us. Because last year he said the damn album was done, and it's almost 2 years ago now.
And you made a prediction last year saying Nas was going to have the best hip-hop album of 2017.
Yeah, he making me look real bad.
We are 2 months away.
He making me look real bad. You know, and all those who were hating on the young bull, the young future of the Lakers, Lonzo, he ain't looking that bad, is he? Because, you know, everybody wanted to claim beef there. Well, since he said that, Lonzo's actually dropped 4 records, and Nas can't seem to drop one of his own when he owns his own damn label. So
Nas is a perfectionist, bro. He'll drop it when he feels like it.
Look, man, ain't nobody checking for Nas like that, and I can honestly say that as a nigga that's still checking for Nas like that.
I really can't wait till Nas drops this next album. He just better not have Nicki on this shit. Nicki better not be nowhere near that shit, or it's gonna be it's gonna be Nostradamus 2.0.
That's in the wishful thinking.
Yeah, I said it.
But
anyway,
as we go past this
fuckery.
Yeah. OJ. OJ's back in the news. Apparently for the right reasons. We'll see how long this lasts, but I don't know if you saw. He on social media, he was taking a picture with two women in bikinis. And
that's white women, of course.
Yeah, and everybody's like, the hell's going on? Well, I got the scoop. He was in a hair removal commercial with those two women. And lo and behold, the person that actually set that whole thing up was Wanye Morris from Boyz II Men.
That's fucking random as hell.
I know. It's ridiculous. Apparently, Wanye...
That nigga that's always crying, singing in the video.
The one they say for last that's on his knees. Yep.
Yeah. Baby, please.
Apparently he knew the owner of the mansion that they were shooting the commercial at. And somehow, some way, he's just like, hey, let's put OJ in it. And the owner's like, hey, that's a good idea. Give me his number. And they got him there. We'll find out how the hell... I don't know if he's in the commercial, if he was just on set, but we'll see how that plays out when it decides to drop.
OJ living life. Let's hope he doesn't take another life.
Yeah, let's see. He got released, at the top of this month? Yeah, top of the month. All right, he's got about 5 months left before everybody's predictions start setting in. Everybody said about April or May. So
You said April or May.
There's a bunch of people that said April and May. Everybody was actually... I said April and May. No, you're right. I said April and May. The average made it to about June or July. So they actually at least gave him at least 1 month in the summer.
Fuck it.
We'll see.
We gonna see.
Yeah. You had Kim Kardashian. She raised news for some strange reason that I don't know.
Black Twitter got bad because she revealed her Halloween costume as Aaliyah. She was dressing up as Leah from the what's it called? Brush it off and try again. Yeah, the try again video. Yeah. And she actually looked like she killed that shit. She had the long hair and the bra and the pants and everything. I love that shit.
Well, when I was looking at it, I thought I was looking at a transsexual.
Okay.
But I
didn't. Okay.
Yeah, because just how her face and her makeup was done. I was like, some guy actually went all the way in with this costume. And then somebody was like, that's Kim. And I was like, oh. Well, good for her. She feels confident in rocking that. Okay. Like, it's Halloween. You do what you want to do.
I mean, she rich.
Right. Then I started seeing the comments, and people were actually, like, flipping on it. And I was like, yo, it's Halloween. Like, come on now.
Yeah, they were this mad because they thought she's misrepresenting black culture. And they're just mad that they touched one of theirs, which was Aaliyah. And then she had hella other costumes. There was another costume she had where she dressed up as Madonna, and I guess Courtney dressed up as Michael when they went to the Oscars. And I thought that shit was pretty funny.
Yeah,
they actually killed it. And black people don't like Kim. They just don't like her for obvious reasons.
Right. I mean, I've had my vendetta for the past few months with the whole situation with her makeup artist. But even in this topic, I was like,
at the end of the day, she did fess up to it. Right. She knew she fucked up.
But just with this whole situation, I'm like, it's Halloween. I mean,
and that's why that's why I can't really call Kim a basic bitch, because basic bitches don't admit when they're wrong.
Yeah. Even if it is your publicist that's making you say it, but that's a whole other story. DJ Envy.
Shit.
Where do we start with this? Shit, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday?
It happened in the wee hours of Twitter morning, late at night. And this random-ass gossiper posted screenshots of DJ Envy talking of a Snapchat. And
ooh, was it good?
DJ Envy was talking to some chick about getting fucked in the ass with a strap-on.
Yeah. You know that GIF where it's a close up of that white dude's face and he's just blinking. That's exactly what my face was doing as I was reading the screenshots. I'm just like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody for how they choose to pursue their sexuality behind closed doors. That's y'all business, and if that's what makes you comfortable, that's cool. I ain't tripping off that. What I'm tripping off of was that he was making jokes with Charlamagne about the ass play for a long time.
Years ago.
And he seems like every other 6 months he's in the news apologizing to his wife about this shit. And to just see it again, but see it so graphically. And then the shit that just took everybody to a whole stratosphere, and it became its own hashtag, was when she said, "I got a 9.5-inch strap on, and I'm gonna bend you over and I'm gonna put it in," and he just replied, "You are vicious."
Vicious.
I lost my shit after that.
I was like, everything, that time on Twitter, everything was funny. Everything was funny. I retweeted it. Shit was funny. I admit, I chuckled a few times, because usually, you know me, I don't bullshit. Yeah. I scroll past it, but some things, man, just fucking funny. But when it comes to Envy, I guess he went on Breakfast Club. I didn't see his clear response, but the majority of what I heard is it was fake. And yeah, they just moved on.
Oh, well. April Fool's is in April. This wasn't April.
I mean, they just kind of swiped it under the rug, and no one really talks about it now. So it's like, okay,
I guess.
I guess. But if we could stay in, I guess we could stay in Fuckville and Hollywood.
Yeah.
No. Before fuck, yeah, because I'm gonna mention them later. Yesterday, I guess after the Harvey Weinstein shit, I guess the chickens are coming back to roost, because
are they ever?
Oh, man. Everybody's coming out of Hollywood and just pointing fingers like, you touch me, like some Oprah shit.
Yeah.
You touch me, you touch me, you touch me. Everybody touched me or violated me. So, what's his name? Anthony, how do you say, Ramp?
Anthony Rapp.
Anthony Ramp. He's an actor. If y'all ever seen Rent or just any other movie, he's like one of the original cast members of Rent. He did an interview with BuzzFeed, and he pretty much said that Kevin Spacey violated him when he was 14 years old.
Yeah, said he made sexual advances towards him.
Yeah, pretty much the story went, because I read this shit and I had to reread that shit. I had to do that white boy look again.
Same
like,
here.
wait, what?
Yeah.
They were in a play together, and I guess they had like a little party at his house. They had a party at his house, and, I guess Kevin Spacey got drunk. He was 36 at the time, Kevin Spacey. Old boy is 14.
Right.
They were at the house, and he was drinking, and I guess the party was winding down, and it was just them two. And I guess, like, he went to go say bye to him, and then Kevin Spacey Kevin Spacey just hugged him and then picked him up like a bitch.
Right.
Just had to picked him up and took him to his bedroom and just got on top of him. And I was like, ugh, what?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's literally one of those ones where you're like, what?
And then he said he didn't say nothing for years, and he kind of just watched Kevin Spacey just kind of rise in Hollywood over the years and shit like that. And then he said one day he just sat and was watching the Tony Awards, and he just saw him and he just felt dread. So
right.
He was, so he kind of went out and said it. So, Twitter just went crazy and was calling Kevin Spacey all sorts of, fuck boys, you pedophile. And then Kevin Spacey pretty much releases a statement, and pretty much the statement just said, yeah, I don't remember that shit. Yeah, I don't remember that.
But if I did do that, I sincerely apologize for giving that impression.
No, he pretty much, he said, if I did anything, I apologize. Oh, and by the way, everybody, I'm gay.
Yeah, just...
Nigga did some Jedi mind trick shit, just flipped the story. Like, I'll just let y'all know I'm gay.
Like, wait, what?
Hold on. And then the headline turned to Kevin Spacey came out the closet. And they were like, yeah, but he came out the closet.
Right, yeah, the whole story just shifted. And it's like... I talked with some old heads, and I mean that term, respectfully. I was talking with some older heads in the Nerd Network, and yeah, they said that all throughout the 80s and 90s, they even had their speculation on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, something fruity about that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like you could. It wasn't something you could fully 100% claim, or I guess run with. But they said they always had this feeling. So when it came out, they were like, yeah, all right. I mean, that's all good and fine. Live your life. But shit, this ain't going to be the story that's going to cover what the hell you just did to this boy.
I mean, if you watch House of Cards, anyone that watches House of Cards, there's always like random ass gay scenes in that damn movie, in that damn show. He does some random gay shit. It just has nothing to do with the damn plot line. He just randomly does it.
Right.
And it's like, okay. And it's like, all right, I wasn't that surprised about it because he, like you said, he kind of looked like a cupcake his damn self. So, yeah, and I guess it's fucked up how he came out. But yeah, and speaking of House of Cards, I guess a day after that they announced that next season is going to be the last season.
Canceled.
Well, anybody that watched the show, you know, like Francis is like the walls are closing in on Francis and shit's hitting the fan. So I kept saying that the show needs to have an ending. So I guess next year is going to be the ending, and it's crazy because it was the first original Netflix show. That was the first one. Then it was Orange Is the New Black, and then it kind of just everything just spiraled from there. So it's kind of the original. It's a Netflix original. If that makes sense.
Spoiler alert: the series ends with him in a scandal about that little boy and him coming out that he's gay.
Wow. Well, he's not president no more. He's probably going to get killed, or he's going to kill himself, or some shit's going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's a spoiler alert. Might as well run with it.
I guess. And I guess if we can go back to music, if you could Subway is the best way to Subway. Eminem.
Yeah.
Fucking M. He's popping up. Shady's popping up. And
the marketing has started for the album.
The marketing started after the fucking freestyle dropped.
No, well,
after the cipher.
Of course, the word was spreading, but the physical spreading of the marketing. You know what I'm saying? The physical marketing has started now.
I get you. Yeah. So viral campaign actually.
Yeah.
So pretty much what happened was his manager, future, I guess the president-elect, CEO-elect of Def Jam, Paul Rosenberg, went on Twitter to Ms. Paul. You know, he posted an Instagram picture of him holding Yelawolf's album to promote the album that was coming out that we're going to review later.
Right.
And in the background there was a sign, there was a billboard behind him. It was kind of fadey, but he took a picture. You could tell it was deliberate. It was there just enough to let you see it. So fans caught wind of it, and they kind of zoomed in on it, and they looked at the number, and they started doing. They saw the backwards E. It said revival.
Right.
It said subscribe to to get revival, and pretty much in a nutshell, it's like a ad campaign. You know how those Viagra commercials are and shit like that. That's pretty much what it looks like. And they talk about the side effects. So if you call the number, is they get revival. You call the number and you hear the I Get a Doctor piano playing in the background, and then you hear like the lady kind of talking about the side effects, and she kind of references some Eminem songs and shit. Mm-hmm. And then other fans kind of cracked the code and said that Interscope is pretty much sponsoring the website on the low. So and they're saying that it's popping up in Detroit, and it's popping up in New York. So yeah, the album's coming. It says coming out on the 8th, is sometime on the 17th. And then on top of that, it got announced today, this past Monday. Oh shit, Ric Flair! I'm gonna watch that shit. That comes out
30 for 30 in a couple weeks. Actually, I think it's next week.
I thought it was this week.
Nah, it's November. Shit, might be in a couple weeks. November 17th, I think.
Woo!
7th or the 17th.
Anyway, besides back to the Eminem. So not only that, it got announced today on the 7th. Shit, right after Raw. That's smart.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, hell yeah. Anyway, so it got revealed that Eminem is gonna be on SNL. He's gonna be performing on SNL on the 18th, and the guest host is gonna be Chance the Rapper.
That's major.
That's pretty. You can't get any more hip hop than that. So that's gonna be very interesting to watch.
Definitely.
So pretty much, I will not be surprised if Eminem drops a new single like tomorrow or on Friday, because that album is gonna when an Eminem album is coming, it is coming full fucking force.
Yeah, there's no way to escape it.
You can't escape it. It will be. That's what he does all the time. I've been a fan long enough to know how he does this shit. When the album comes, he's literally like he'll be quiet. Because he'll be so long, you won't hear one word from him, not even a peep. And then all of a sudden, when the album comes, he's everywhere. He's doing interviews. He's doing performances. You see videos. He is literally he's everywhere. And then within a few months, he disappears.
Yeah.
Sells his records, goes platinum, does this, does that, then he disappears.
He's like fucking Pennywise.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
It's basically what it is. Like he pops out, he terrorizes you for up to a year, and then it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, remember that time Eminem was rapping?
Yeah. The last album he dropped was Marshmallow's LP 2. That was in 2013.
Yeah.
That was the last time that was 3 years ago.
4.
But around that 4, yeah. And then around that time period, he did drop music. He was on the Southpaw soundtrack, the Shady 15 album. He was dropping.
Oh yeah, he was still dropping music, but it was more so in the frame of, soundtracks and features and being the executive producer, getting the credits.
Yeah. So, yeah, M's coming, and I guess this could be a subway to music, I guess.
Yeah, so like we warned y'all the past couple episodes, this past weekend was going to be a big weekend musically.
Oh, boy, was it ever.
But we didn't realize how big of a weekend it actually was until we got here, because it wasn't just the albums that we were mentioning. There was probably about 3 or 4 more albums that ended up dropping this weekend.
Yeah, man. And so much fucking music.
Man, so we're going to go through this the best way we can, which is we're going to give mentions to several of those, and then we're going to dive into, obviously, 2 of the bigger releases. So first things first, we actually have a quick late mention. Brent Faiyaz. He dropped his album Sanderson. Y'all know him. His claim to fame is he's the one that sings the hook on Gold Link's Monster Smash hit single Crew.
Now for you.
Yep. So he's sang the hook on there. And he's got that ambition, man. He seriously does, man. Gang over love, first world problems, stay down, and so far gone. Those are just a few of the examples of how this guy gets down. And
I've been hearing a lot about this album, and actually the funny thing is I told JC to listen to this album because I was gonna listen to it until I underestimated how much fucking music dropped, and it just stopped.
We got blindsided. Like
pretty much.
We thought we was ready in more ways than one.
We got slapped in the face. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the list. Gotti dropped. I did not know he. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll segue into that. So Brent Faiyaz, make sure you go cop that album, listen to that Sanderson again. Yo Gotti, the sequel to I Am that he dropped a few years ago. I Still Am. I love Yo Gotti. This is just typical Gotti coke raps. There were some highlights through this though. I liked Brown Bag, of course. Rack It Up with Nicki. But then there's one that really catches attention, and I think everybody's going to really like this. He's got this song called Oh Yeah, which features Montana.
Oh yeah!
Remember the song Chopper Style?
Yeah.
They sampled the hell out of that, and it works.
Really?
Yeah. It was pretty dope. But other than that, I mean, it's one of them albums that, you play when you headed to the club or you headed to the trap, and then after that, you turn it off. And that's basically where we're with that.
Talk about Overdose, and then we're going to talk about Tidal.
Yeah, so there's a group that I've been paying attention to for a few years now. This collective called Overdose. They reside out here in the Crenshaw district.
What's that?
Yeah, West. They're actually a big collective of about 8 or 9 guys altogether, but the 4 main guys that actually, put in work on the music is June, Sleazy, Kent Jams, and Creamy. They came with it on this. I like this. It's were you ever a fan of Dom Kennedy?
Yeah.
Okay, they got similar
in the middle.
They got similar vibes to Dom Kennedy. That's actually kind of how they got their name to fame. They opened up for one of Dom Kennedy's tours. So they kind of merged in the middle with him and I want to say Casey Veggies. Like they kind of got a balance of both.
Okay.
They got some good music. Like I'm fully supporting this project. House Party, I'm thinking it was going to be a legit party type record, but this is like one of those records you put on the party and everybody just starts dancing to. It's smooth. Okay. It's smooth, but it hits good for a party. Last Kiss, he's not credited feature wise on there, but Last Kiss features Pharrell and has production from Pharrell. That motherfucker's a monster. Like that. Really? That shit hits. That's one of them nasty records where you look at that and you just okay. Just keep going. And then the final track that really caught my ears and I want to push the public is Rich White Friends. It's a interestingly funny take, but that beat is slapping like a motherfucker, man. Like that shit was slapping. Okay. So Overdose, for those who don't know how to spell it, it's OVERDOZ and then a period at the end. That album's called 2008. Majid Jordan. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Majid Jordan?
Majid Jordan. You got me to listen to this right before we recorded, and I wasn't going to because they have a certain sound to themselves. They're very smooth, very like kick back. I want to say Sade sounding kind of, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. They got some of those elements
like
for
that
sure.
That quiet storm type of feel to it. So, I got to be in the mood. Like, if I'm, like, at a hookah lounge or if I'm just chilling and then the rain's going, I'll turn their shit on.
Man done fumbled the damn ball.
Well, womp womp.
Muffed up.
Anyway, but this album.
Good vibes. Very good vibes.
Sound like a hype beast saying that shit.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's like great positive vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm familiar with the Majid Jordan's, their sound overall. And you're right, they got that smooth, nice sound. But when this shit kicked in, this shit took me back to like John B in 97. Like that time I was like, damn, this
you
sounds...
saying it felt 90s.
Yeah, I was like, this feels real 90s. And it starts off with with Gave Your Love, OG Heartthrob. Those two records are really, they got some real nice kick in their drum patterns. So that'll get you upbeat and moving. Body Talk is another one where you with a nice young lady, you save that shit and you go to work. That's that one. And I think I finally reached the point where I gotta maybe think about retiring the Kickback Around the Block nickname I gave Party Next Door, because
you can still call him that.
I mean, but the thing is I was calling him that because,
man, you can't. You've been calling that for too damn long,
yeah,
bro.
But I mean,
just like how I say fuck Jed York, I'm never retiring that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I said I was thinking about it. So let's be clear, I'm still thinking about it. But my defense for possibly thinking about retiring it is that he's featured on this.
What the fuck was that, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know. He's featured on this track, One I Want, and this shit hit like a motherfucker, man. Like this shit nasty. And I'm starting to think, like, I don't think his career is going the way it's going because he just simply hit his ceiling and he tapped out. Like, I was already under the impression that Drake was taking his best shit and just using it as filler for his albums. Now I'm starting to think that they're taking his best shit and they're giving it to the other OVO artists as well. Like,
no, there's only one OVO artist, and that shit is Drake.
Well, okay, there's one that gets pushed to the public, but technically they are signed to this label. Because there was I forgot which record. Remember on Division's album where they all collaborated in the writing. So you have that record, and then you have this record, and I'm like, yo, maybe these were his records. In addition
you don't
to
say, you don't say.
Right, so I'm like, shit, maybe he is hitting his ceiling as far as just the artistry is concerned, but I'm like, yo, I knew his shit was getting taken, but maybe it wasn't just getting taken for Drake's use. Like, maybe it's getting used to just funnel the whole label. And if that's the case, I got to think about
the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, like at this point,
Division 2.
They got to go.
Jordan. Matter of fact, Drake should just get rid of the whole OVO shit altogether and just focus on him. Yeah. Because he ain't pushing these niggas.
I mean, he really isn't. And considering the fact that Division and Majid Jordan, these records are pretty damn good records that, for coming out on especially on the Warner Brothers label, and you really not hearing much outside of social media, the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So
if you got major label backing, but
So who's this next dude? Reuben Vincent?
Reuben Vincent. So Reuben Vincent is actually a 16-year-old MC who is signed to Ninth Wonder's Jamla Records. And
wow,
this kid's got promising potential. You know how in sports when guys, analysts, they talk about certain players where they don't necessarily have it all at the moment as far as their star power, but they just have that raw talent, and just as if they can get into the right hands, they're a 3 to 5 year project where you're going to see the outcome sooner than later. Reuben Vincent has that potential. I was very taken aback with just how mature he sounds behind the mic. He sounds very confident. And in actuality, for the people who are listening to him for the first time, he's actually going to remind you of Joey Badass when Joey Badass first hit the scene.
Like 1999 status?
Yeah,
Joey Badass?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily for the flow or how the rhyme, but they really do have similar voices. So as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh shit, is he featuring Joey Badass and this just didn't get credited? But as he's going, I'm like, oh, that's him. And he's got that same kind of hunger that I was talking about with Cardi.
Okay.
You know, the ones where you just know an MC when you hear it.
Yeah.
He's got that. Now you put that raw talent and you mix that with Ninth Wonder, who's spearheading behind the boards. He's got a little
Big L on top.
He's got nowhere to go but up, as long as he keeps his mind right, keeps progressing. So the opening track is 6 a.m. And one thing I really like about this album is it's very properly sequenced. Okay. I don't just mean that in terms of the production. I mean that in terms of the mixing. 6 a.m. literally starts off with his alarm clock waking him up. So you just hear the alarm clock. Then he starts going into his raps. It's followed up by Myers Park. I'm telling you, this cat can spit.
It's like some Good Kid, Mad City-ish.
It's similar. Similar.
Story-wise. That's what I mean.
Yeah. On a more
concept-wise.
On a more underground circuit. He's definitely got that. And then he's got Teen Spirit, which shows he has that potential to jump on those type of mainstream
I think I've heard that song.
So so Teen Spirit, he's got the potential to jump on those kind of records. Then he has BB Guns, which I love because he samples a recording of Pac beforehand, which leads into the topic of the song.
That touched your heart, didn't it?
Well, no, not necessarily. Like it was
just busted your balls on me.
Shut up. here trying to give the people these good reviews, and you out here busting balls, making jokes and shit.
It's my job.
But in BB Guns, it was I can't remember which recording it was of Pac where he was speaking, but it fit perfectly with the concept behind the record. And then he has Chains on Me, which is very... I don't want to spoil it, but in a way I'm going to kind of give it away. Imagine if Trayvon Martin survived and then he made a record about it.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of this...
Well, you kind of did spoil it.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way to describe it without kind of spoiling it. But those 5 records showcase his potential to the max. Like, I can't express that enough. He's got the raw talent. I don't know if he has ambitions to hit the mainstream or if his ambitions is to, stay hardcore to the culture in this format and he's cool with it. All I know is as long as he keeps his head straight, whatever his goal is, he's damn sure bound to reach that for sure. All right. So Reuben Vincent, Myers Park, definitely go check that out.
So let's talk about, I guess, the most disappointing album that dropped this week.
Yeah.
To both of us, because I was anticipating it too.
I was definitely anticipating this.
But it's the 3rd installment of the Beach House series from Ty Dolla $ign.
And what's so disappointing about this is that it started off so damn well.
It did.
Like, from just him singing Famous.
Very I like it. I like when he does his acoustic shit.
Oh yeah,
Ty Dolla $ign should think about dropping an acoustic album or doing MTV Unplugged.
Right,
he really should think about that because he's good with the strings, man.
Yeah, he doesn't get as much credit as he actually deserves. I don't want to call him this generation's Nate Dogg because that takes a long body of work to get to. What I will say is when it comes to this hook shit and when it comes to these harmonies and these vocals, in terms of bridging the gap with R&B and hip-hop, you're going to be pressed to find someone that's better than Ty right now. He really does that. So when Famous kicked in, like you said, the acoustics, him hitting those harmonies, I was on board for it. And then he gets to Love You Better. Lil Wayne was listenable on this record. He brought back the dream. So I was there for it. Then he follows up with X. So I know he released the records... I don't want to say he leaked them, but he released them as singles beforehand. I purposely avoided listening to them.
Same here.
Because I wanted to listen to them.
Same with that YG record. So, I didn't listen to that either.
Yeah, so X. I'm glad I waited because that sampled the 112 Only You remix production. They came hard on that shit. Like, they went with it. So
Stare. Man, that shit was fire, too.
Stare with Pharrell and Wiz. Yeah, I like that record. So there were definitely records where, like, he just started off so dope. Drop Top in the Rain with Tory Lanez was a good one, too. And then at this point,
everything became filler.
Well, no, I want to say before that. At this point, we all just waiting on the Sway Lee solo album. Because I Don't Judge Me, him, Future, and Sway Lee, hey, man. That's that wave right there. Swiley, I know they focus on Shrum Life 3. As soon as that drops, we got to get that solo album for sure. Mm-hmm. But as you said, once we get past Stare, it's just one thing we talked about. I saw 20 tracks and I got nervous.
Yeah, you told me that. That was the first thing you told me. Like, 20 tracks.
Yeah, it's just there's something about R&B records. I don't want to hear that many tracks on an R&B record. Like when it came to Free TC was 12 or 13 tracks. Perfect flow.
Yeah, Free TC was perfection. Right. That was his best album.
Perfect flow. Even on Campaign, when he stretched it to 16 tracks for the most part, everything worked and it followed under the...
I was very about Campaign.
Right, but it followed under the plan of, he dropped it around election season, kind of playing on that theme like it worked. For Beach House 3, it was... I get where he was trying to go with it because the theme of this one is fame. Mm-hmm. I would have preferred this if this was the project that he was going to drop. I would have preferred this to be just follow under the format of the mix, just be another mixtape. Mm-hmm. Because once it got past Stare, So Am I with Damian Marley, it kind of worked. I kind of faded in and out with that. Made in TYO. Little favorite was decent at best.
Everything just sounded the same. It got to that point. Everything just sounded the same.
It was redundant after a while.
There was no flow to it. It was just party music.
Right.
That's pretty much what it came down to.
Right.
It's done. It's just to play during the summer.
Yeah, because one thing which is interesting because we're damn near in the winter at this point. And one thing that made Free TC so successful was that it was a nice balance with just hardcore R&B. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the party records, but they were far and few in between. Like, there were some... he had Babyface on the album, for God's sake.
On Free TC, it felt more... That shit felt more like a R&B album. The first half of that album is perfection. Right. And the second half is exceptional, but... The second half of that album is exceptional, but the first half of that album of Free TC is, like, perfection. Right. This album was just...
Yeah, it's just... It is what it is. I mean, like I said, there's definitely some records that I'll be popping into playlists, but in terms of
playlist music.
Right, in terms of the quality of the whole album, I was let down with this project. I'll give it a... I'll first listen, like I said, I don't like giving numbers right away because I want to let stuff sit and be properly evaluated.
I got my mind made up. I ain't going back to this.
Yeah, this is one of those in-between type records.
Yes, just get tracks and put it in a playlist and call it a day.
Right.
So, if we can continue with hip-hop, Shady Records did drop an artist this week, too. Yelawolf dropped his third album. This is his third album on Shady Records. If you really believe that.
First was Radioactive. First was Radioactive, and then
Love Story.
Love Story was the second one, and now we're following up with Trial by Fire.
Yeah. He's dropped more records. It's like M's really trying to push Yelawolf instead of Slaughterhouse, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the whole situation with Slaughterhouse, but, man... what was I? Yeah, what was this thing? Trial by Fire. Mm-hmm. Yes. I didn't get a chance to finish it all the way because there was a lot of good music that dropped this week again. But from what I've heard halfway through, Yelawolf came with it. It wasn't as country as A Love Story. He wasn't singing a lot. Right. He was rapping. It was like a hick-ass hip-hop album, man. Yeah. He did exactly that.
So Trial by Fire started off, he walks into this, I guess you call it a speakeasy. He walks to speakeasy, and then it's kind of like the spoken word, but he's rapping. But it's kind of all over the place, like a jazz record.
That's how jazz records are.
Right. And so at first, when I first listened to it, I'm trying to figure out where he's going with it. But it wasn't until the second playback where I'm like, okay, that's what he was doing. And like you said, he's rapping his ass off. Now, I want to say the first half, it kind of feels like a chore to get through. Like, I'll be honest, by the time it got to Daylight, I was already anticipating, okay, I can at least start skipping through some tracks and we'll see which ones hit because I don't think we're going to, find much up there. Yeah. Because he has the song with Get Mine, which features Kid Rock, and that was
like the third track.
That was a complete miss for me.
I didn't mind that track. It was, if you could get past who Kid Rock is.
No, I'm not even focused on Kid Rock. Just for me, it was, I've heard enough of their collaborations where I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, it's you and Kid Rock. Like, cool.
I still find it funny how M dropped that freestyle dissing Trump, and then he drops his artist's album, and his artist has Kid Rock on it, who is a Trump supporter.
Gotta make that money, man.
M pretty much said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna make this money off your ass."
Right. But there was some promises on the first half of it. So Son of a Gun, Ride or Die, and then like I said, Daylight. I like Daylight, but it took kind of a filling out to get to. Then you get to Do for Love and Punk, and this is where it started transitioning for me, where I'm like, oh shit. I like Do for Love. When it got to Punk, one thing I'm learning in my music production class is that obviously there's different tempos. So you got your what everybody knows is your
Womp Womp, Ezekiel Elliott.
So you got your 4-tempo. You got your 4-tempo music where you know it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 drum pattern. This shit hit on a damn 12/8. So it's just I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then I realized who's on it, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Travis Barker. I'm like, no wonder. Travis Barker got his solo going. I'm like, okay, I can fuck with it. And then I know where Juicy J pops up, and I'm like, yo, I'm not even gonna press fast forward. Like, I want to see where this plays out. It ended up being this weird ass record that actually worked, in my opinion. Like, I liked the record, which then led into Row Your Boat, and Row Your Boat is probably one of the stronger records on this project.
See, I didn't get there yet. I think I stopped at Punk. That's what I stopped at.
Row Your Boat is a very strong record. So that's one thing about Yelawolf is, if you've been following Yelawolf way back to from 0 to 60 Trump music, you know that when he first came on with that, it was about more of the party music. Like, the single for that was I Just Want to Party with Gucci.
Yeah, so, and Pop the... But if y'all really fucked with him, you'd fuck with Pop the Trump.
Right. So it was one of those where he was making his name off those records. One thing I've noticed about him since he's been with Shady was he's actually dove in more with these very intricate and what's the term I'm looking for? Just
retrospective?
Thank you. These retrospective records.
He kind of, I think with Radioactive, it was more mainstream. Right. They were trying to form him to what he didn't want, which is kind of what sucked about the first Shady Records Slaughterhouse album, which is why people didn't really like that Radioactive album. So then when A Love Story came out, he kind of said, you know what, let me just be myself. And he was himself, and people consider that one of his best albums. Yeah. So when he was himself, that's what M needed him to do. Just be yourself.
So you had Row Your Boat, and then by far the track that's going to be the talk of everybody that listens to this record is Sabrina. Like,
see, you told me to listen to this shit right before we recorded. You told me to listen to it, and I listened to it, and I'm a sucker for story tracks. Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for this shit. And Yelawolf, we don't want to spoil it. You just got to listen to it yourself. It's 2 minutes, about two and a half minutes, and he tells a really vivid story. And that's all I can really say. Yeah. It's very dark. It's really vivid, and he's really good at this shit, man.
Definitely. So then, like I said, that's the highlight there. I can fuck with this. Like, it's like you said. I was glad it wasn't Love Story because I respected Love Story, but it's like you said, he was more so going for that country sing song type of sound. This one was, he finally found a good balance between the country and the bluegrass and mixing it in with the hip hop sound. So definitely check this one out.
Check it out, everybody. Don't pay attention to what Twitter tells you about Yelawolf. Yelawolf is still a great artist. Just because Machine Gun Kelly is out and about and he has, I guess you could say, a better career, quote unquote, than Yelawolf. Nah, at the end of the day, Yelawolf just cares about his damn music. He just cares about the music and himself. Yeah. So
definitely,
if you're a fan of Yelawolf,
definitely check this out for sure.
Yeah, and I'm a fan, so shout out to Yelawolf.
And
well, you better chill with that racial shit though. Real shit. Yeah. Just chill with that. I know you're from Alabama, but chill with that racial flag. I forget about that shit, my nigga. Yeah. But
and then
let's go to your shit.
I think there was one more artist that we kind of been hyping up for a little while.
You've been excited.
Yes, so excited.
You've been excited.
We got Big King.
Pause. Oh yes,
Big King remembered in time. A.k.a. Big K.R.I.T. Crizzle season was upon us. I thought I was ready. You thought you were ready. It was clear that 3 tracks into this damn album, I was not ready for what I was listening to. And at that point, I let go and I just let it play. And
don't do a track by track breakdown.
No,
it's gonna. We already been like an hour here already. Just tell the people.
Everything. This is a masterpiece.
That's saying a lot.
This is that record. If you've been I knew of K.R.I.T back when MTV Jams, when Children of the World first dropped, when he dropped that video.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So Children of the World dropped, then The Vent dropped. And then from there, I wasn't paying too much attention to him up until Glass House from Kush and OJ dropped. When it was him, Currency, and Wiz.
And Wiz Khalifa,
yep. That's when I started paying attention. And from there, his mixtapes were just so damn flawless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so ridiculous.
And he's pretty much a Southern J. Cole, if we're gonna be really.
Well, I mean, J. Cole's from the South too.
But
in terms of he's an MC that produces his own shit, and he out there from in Mississippi. So, like I said, if you know K.R.I.T from the mixtapes, man, it's just it's one of those records where it's like, finally. And really, it wasn't his fault because he did the deal with Def Jam.
And Def Jam tried to form him into something else.
Exactly. And so with this record, of course, when he dropped Free Agent last year, that's when it became clear his deal with them was over. He wasn't going to look to sign anywhere else. He was going to focus on multi-alumni. From that point, we were like, okay, so let's see where he's going with this. He drops first, remember he did those 30 freestyles or whatever.
Yeah.
Couldn't find one where he didn't kill. And then
he dropped that mixtape. Remember that mixtape he dropped last year?
Yeah.
Or was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago. It's Better This Way.
Yeah, it's Better This Way.
We went to the tour.
Yes.
I remember you telling me and my cousin Kev, you had always paid attention to K.R.I.T, but until you went to the show and saw him, you didn't fully understand where he was coming from.
Oh yeah.
And once you saw him live, that's when you're like, I get it, and I like this nigga.
Yeah.
So we saw that tour. So then he drops Confetti, and Confetti, one of them records where you're like, all right, I don't think I want to hear anything else more because I don't want to spoil it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I didn't listen to anything else because this shit from top to bottom. I listened to the first disc. The first disc, like you said, it bumps. It has a lot of good ass tracks, bumping tracks, lyrics and top dope. He has UGK on this shit. Yeah, it's not.
When I say UGK,
it's not just Bun B.
He got an actual Pimp C verse that's used right, Drake. That actually feels that's used the right way, and that shit knocks. Like me and you and a friend of ours, we were going back and forth on text messaging, just talk about how great this fucking album is.
One thing I loved about this, and I want to give the writer his just due for providing this interview. Rodney Carmichael from NPR Music, he actually had Big K.R.I.T call in, and K.R.I.T actually gives a track-by-track breakdown over the waves. So definitely, if you guys can find that, check that. I've retweeted it. Mm-hmm. So I won't dive into it too much. But one thing that I found to be pretty amazing, and just saying this is God's work, was that, so he has the record with UGK, Ride With Me. The following record to that is Get Up to Come Down, which has Sleepy Brown, features CeeLo, and it's produced by Organized Noise. And what he
you can't get any more southern than that, man. I didn't know Organized Noise did that.
And he destroyed that shit completely. And one of the things he said about that record was Sleepy did the hook. He was cool with it, but then he said, you know what? I need CeeLo on this. So he got in contact with CeeLo, and he was like, "Hey, OG, I have something for you. I want to know if you'll get down with it." He said CeeLo hit him back in a short span, was like, "I got you. Don't worry about it." And he said one thing he does when he has featured artists is that he doesn't tell them, okay, I want you to rap or I want you to sing harmony. Like, it's just, I have something for you. Be artistic, and whatever you bring back, I'll take. So he said when he heard it back and he heard CeeLo rapping, he was like, that shit. But what he said was, what stood out to him was that he mentions Pimp C in his verse. And this was actually before they even recorded Ride With Me with UGK. So when the record came out, he was like, this is perfect. I'm going to put this record, arrangement-wise, I'm going to put the UGK record, and I'm going to put this record after it because it's the funneling of it. Like, Pimp ain't died. He's still with us. Like, his memory still lives through us.
And his verse was used correctly.
Man.
Aubrey.
The shit... Dude, we talking about these records. We're not even talking about the fact that Manny Fresh was on this shit.
That too.
Like, Manny Fresh came out for
1999.
For 1999,
he needs to push that.
So 1999, he gets Lloyd. Lloyd kills this hook. They basically combine Back That Ass Up with Piece of My Love, and I just don't know how this record isn't gonna work as far as pushing it for mainstream play. Like, it's
what label is? I know he's independent, but who distributed this album?
BMG.
Okay.
So BMG was the distributor. So he got Manny for this, and then, of course, every K.R.I.T fan is excited when we see the My Sub series make a return. And My Sub 4, which was called Subbenstein.
That shit was knocked.
My God Almighty. Dog, when he changed the key and he started harmonizing, I damn near shed a tear. Because and I'm saying this halfway joking, but I'm saying it halfway serious as well. Because for longtime K.R.I.T fans, this is what we knew he was capable of doing. He was capable of taking the mixtape craft that he had done and perfected, and he brought it and put it together with the top of the line production list. Like, this is all, like, when it comes to, this is the reason why everybody looks at me crazy when I say K.R.I.T's in my top 3 artists, rappers right now today. Everybody just looks at me, wow, like, what the hell, he ain't getting played for the radio. It's like, no, if you actually listen to this man's craft, he's got every single element that you would find, and you would say, yeah, he deserves to be at least in the top 5, minimum.
Yes. See, I wanted to actually indulge in this whole album. It's one of those albums you got to sit with and really, really listen. Like, actually listen to the lyrics. But because of the show, and y'all, we have to inform y'all about all the music, quality music that came out. But honestly, if I had it my way, I would have said fuck everybody and listen to this K.R.I.T shit. Real shit.
Oh, and don't feel bad. Like, Busby, actually, we were talking about, he's like, man, there's just so much music. And I was like, don't feel bad. I was like, because every time I got done playing one record, I went right back to this album and I played the whole damn thing through. And for those who don't know, this is a double album. So there's 22 tracks, 11 tracks on per. And he breaks it down perfectly. So the first half is the big K.R.I.T that we know. The man that gets your subs knocking comes in with the gangsta lean pimp talk. The second half of this, he strips down, and it's Justin Scott.
Wilson.
No, not
Justin Scott.
Justin Scott.
And I don't know why I was just looking at something, but yeah.
And from the intro track of the intro portion of Justin Scott, one thing that I like about this too was that he said, so when these CDs open up, he's got Big K.R.I.T is the title of the first track on the first disc, and then Justin Scott's the first track on the second. He said what he did was he made Justin Scott first. Then he sampled that, and that's how he made Big K.R.I.T. And the purpose of that was to say, Justin Scott is giving the wisdom to Big K.R.I.T, like, this is the shit you need to watch out for. Do your pimp thing, but wait till we get to this point. And
so he got the second. He recorded the second disc first, and then went to the first.
So pretty much what he was doing was he was recording all these records throughout, and then mid form, that's when he's like, you know what, this is just best if I just break this down into 2 parts. Because honestly, the 2 tracks that he said he was working on throughout the whole duration of the 2 years was The Light, featuring Bilal, Robert Glasper Jr., Kenneth Whalum, Bernice Earl Travis II. These are jazz musicians, by the way. He said that record took the whole 2 years. He said when he started that record, it didn't sound the way it sounds now. He said that one took the full 2 years because he had the vision for it, and he wasn't going to compromise until he got it right. So a lot of these records, they were just intertwined, and then it just got to a point where he's like, you know what, this is what we're going to do. This is the concept behind it. Keep the Devil Off, dog.
Yeah, the last track, man.
No, this is we're on the 3rd track on the second album.
Oh, so you really gonna break down the entire track?
I'm not trying to, but it would be in disservice to not go through some of these records. But I will say, going back up to finish off the first half, one thing I loved about this.
You better hang up that phone.
I'm too far. I'm too far away. Whatever.
I'll let it run.
So he has 2 interludes on this. On the second disc, the interlude is the Weekend interlude. On disc 1, it's classic interlude. And basically the point of that is to say that people, they will not allow music to drop before they already claim something's a classic. And one thing that made me laugh so hard was that it brought up the article that Complex dropped for Views, where it was, Drake just dropped the track list and it's already confirmed a classic.
They said that. He said that in the interlude?
No. That's what brought it up, because as I'm listening to the interlude, the guy's like, hey, this shit's a classic. And he goes, what you mean it's a classic? You ain't even listened to it. And he goes, it's got 14 tracks and it's got 14 skits. And he's like, how the fuck it only got 14 tracks and 14 skits, but it's a classic? And he goes, hey, man, I ain't gonna tell you about being a hater, but you a hater, because this shit a classic. And so, right. And so from that standpoint, I was like, yo, he is as relevant as possible. And then he dives into Aux Chord, which is focused on the soulful samples. And then that shit, Getaway, dude, I don't know how it resonated with you, but Getaway is that motherfucking joint.
Like I said, I have to go back on this second disc.
This was the track that ended disc 1.
That track.
Getaway.
Yeah. That shit was dope. Yeah.
So now diving into the second disc, I liked his stance on mixed messages.
Yes, that was a dope ass record.
I like this
that resonated with me.
The line that stood out to me the most was, I wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. That shit just stood out to me, because it's like, yeah, you wanna be the peacekeeper in this crazy driven world. These motherfuckers keep pushing you, and all you asking is for respect, and we're not getting the respect that we deserve just to be treated as, equal human beings. The track Miss Georgia with Joy from the Dungeon Family. In reading that article as well, Miss Georgia is actually a breakdown from Mississippi, Georgia, and California. So now that you know that, go back and listen to it, and because I don't want to give that one away. That was actually, once I realized that, I went back and listened. It's a very great concept. He's got Jill Scott on this side. Price of Fame was that one that on this disc. Well, there was 2. So 3, I should say. Price of Fame, The Light, or Drinking Sessions, and then Bury Me in Gold. So Price of Fame is him talking about this side of success, and what you view as success, you no longer view it as that anymore. So now you're confused, and you're just looking all around you. You can't even tell what's success and what's failure anymore. And he follows that up with Drinking Sessions, and it's basically cut from the same cloth as Kendrick's You. It's from that same cloth. And then Bury Me in Gold, I don't know if you've recognized it, but Big K.R.I.T is damn near undefeated when it comes to these outro songs. Like how he ends his albums, they're the perfect songs to end his records. And Bury Me in Gold it's half double entendre, half gospel music.
Oh yeah, especially how he ended it. Yeah, I was feeling that shit.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't give this man his just doing words. Like, there's just not enough words to say about this record.
Let's just say that when them end of the list records go, or them end of the list comes out, this is going to be in the top 5.
Oh yeah,
period. Or maybe top 3.
Yeah,
like right now, as we're talking, the best albums that came out this year when it comes to rap, this is like a preview of our end of the year list so far, is Kendrick. I mean, we did a whole episode about that nigga. Jay,
we did a whole episode on that nigga. 444.
444. And right now, I guess you can. Rap City,
definitely.
And now K.R.I.T. So right now, at this very moment, the only person left is Marshall. And
we'll see how that fits, because that 5th slot, I'm still leaning with Rose for that 5th slot.
Of course, Rick Ross. Yeah,
it's that album right there was. I still go back and listen to that shit, dude. Like, that shit is tough.
Man, that did drop. But when them drops, I'm gonna have a whole episode dedicated. I'm gonna review the shit out of that shit.
Yeah. You have your leeway.
Oh yeah, I have my leeway but people are really just praising this album, and like I said, I really just want to go back and really sit back and listen to it. The second disc, especially
to end my raving on this. And I purposely kept this. Ooh. Yeah, I purposely kept this to myself and away from social media, because I wanted this to be original content on our show.
Hell yeah!
In finishing this record, I finally understand what it was like for my cousins when they finished Aquemini and Stankonia.
Oh, shit.
Like to listen to those records in their prime when they dropped, I got that same feeling. Like it was that feeling of you can't tell me shit about this guy. Like you can't. Everything I've been saying and going to bat for year after year with this guy as an artist, you can't tell me shit. And the proof is right here in your eardrums. So take it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Big K.R.I.T, salute you, man.
Definitely.
Keep doing your
as
thing.
As soon as that tour comes out, Kev already hit me and he was like, yo, as soon as the tour drops, either I'm going down to see you and we going, or you bringing your ass back up here, but we going. And I was like, you already know. At this point, I'm ready to get the VIP tickets. Fuck the bullshit.
Damn, you really, yeah.
Because
that's a fan right there.
Because the thing of it is that you were even saying it. It's so damn criminal how cheap his tickets are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
I think you said that.
No, you were the one saying you're like it only costs that much. And you're like, and after the show, you were like, I feel like I need to pay this nigga more. Like,
yeah. I mean, it was criminal how all these artists dropped the same day as him.
Yeah.
Because when Kendrick drops, nobody wanted to drop. When Drake drops, nobody wants to drop. When Hove, J. Cole, when them niggas drop, nobody wants to drop. Shit, I'll even say Big Sean too. When they drop, nobody wants to drop. But then when Big K.R.I.T drops, everybody wants to drop, and he almost gets lost in the sauce. Kind of, because when it comes to the projections, he's looking like he's about to outsell Ty Dolla $ign and all the rest.
It looks like he's gonna be that nigga this week. As far as
because at the end of the day, what sells more is good music.
Definitely,
no pun intended.
I did my part. If y'all was all over my Snapchat and my Instagram, I bought this shit twice. I bought the digital copy, and I was like, this shit ain't good enough. And I took my ass to Best Buy and I bought the physical.
Also, you bought physicals, huh? Welcome to my world.
As soon as the motherfucking vinyl comes out, I'm buying the goddamn vinyl too. I'm telling you.
Damn. Well, you better buy Damn too.
It's already done. Okay, I'm telling you, the artists I go to bat for, you ain't got to worry about that.
Same here.
I support more so than just wordplay. And that's the difference between these type of artists versus these artists that y'all people on Twitter be pushing on us. Y'all motherfuckers push them, and then all of a sudden, I'm trying to figure out why these motherfuckers is number 21 debuting on the Billboard charts.
Or why their records are, or why their number, not even if they're top 10 in the billboards and they have all this hype on social media, and then like Lil Pump, his ass fucking popped up on number 9 on the charts. That's still too damn high, but he was number 9, not in the top 5, not even the top 3. Right. You were number 9, and it's gonna probably just slowly but surely slip off the charts. At the end of the day, trash music always stays in the trash. It's never mentioned again.
Exactly.
Good music stays on top.
Definitely.
At the end of the day. Just ask Kendrick. That's why he's fucking 5 times platinum. I don't think he's 5 times platinum, but you get my motherfucking drift.
Boom.
So, yeah, we've been at for an hour and a half, but, you know, if y'all don't like listening to sports, you can just turn it off right now. But if you go and listen to it.
For all my sports heads, welcome.
Welcome to hell! No. You all seen Boys in the Hood? Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
This last week in sports was arguably the best week in sports this year. Arguably. We're going to start off with the World Series.
This World Series, y'all.
Probably the best World Series in modern times.
Like, I don't know if these niggas are shooting up. I don't know what they doing. The pitchers don't know how to throw, but these motherfuckers are hitting home runs and base hits like a motherfucker.
Yeah, so Astros currently lead 3-2 going into Game 6 tomorrow. Game 6 returns here in L.A.
Shit.
And if the Dodgers win out, then Game 7...
I think right now the culture needs them to go 7.
It definitely needs them to go 7. Game 7 will be played on Wednesday, November 1st, which means if that takes place, it'll be the only game that gets played to November. Which we're all hoping for at this point.
Because Game 5, man.
At this point, dude, there's been 22 home runs in this series. This is the most in MLB history, World Series history. Last night was a fucking roller coaster. Literally. Dodgers are up 4-0, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they got this. All right, like, yeah. Let me run a game of 2.
We got this.
Let me run a game of 2K real quick. Somebody
run a game of 2K.
Yeah, somebody text me like, I can't believe this shit. And I go back. My fucking game is tied. Like, what the fuck just happened? Next thing I know, it's 7-4. Dodgers go back up, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they was just on that bullshit.
I was on the phone with you talking and shit.
Right.
and I wasn't watching the game at that point, and then you hit me like, oh my god, they just hit another home run.
Yeah, and then Kershaw was struggling, and I'm like, okay, they back up and then all of a sudden Kershaw want to fuck the money up again, and next thing you know, it's 7-7, and then next thing I know, it's 8-7. And then it's 8-8, and then after that,
it goes
all
to the ninth
broke
inning.
loose.
It goes to the ninth
It's
inning.
11-8 after a while. The Astros are up, and then out of nowhere, Puig just comes and is like, "Yeah."
I tell you on the phone, I told you on the phone, like, yeah, watch them niggas tie it up, and then all of a sudden,
Puig comes in and right out the park, 11-11,
and then
it's. I was supposed
12-12.
I was supposed to be asleep by 8:30. I didn't go to sleep.
I think everybody was supposed to be asleep.
Dog,
at
I
some
stayed
time
up
period.
so gosh damn late. I opened up the damn DoorDash app and I ordered Panda Express. Like I had already eaten my 5 meals for the day, and the shit was just so hectic. I was like, shit, I ain't got nothing left in this fridge that's been prepared, and I don't feel like cooking. I guess I'm just gonna have to order in. I had a 6th fucking meal during the entire time frame of this gosh damn game. Again, I'm not that big of a baseball fan, but
me neither.
It's just the excitement of baseball in October. Like it's infectious, and the fact again, it's in my backyard. My grandfather is a diehard Dodgers fan. It's the team I'm rocking with. So hopefully, Dodgers can handle business tomorrow, and they force a Game 7 and obviously take it on Thursday. But there was some shit that took place. In Game 3. Was it Game 3 or Game 4? One of the games. So Astros first baseman, Yuli Gurriel, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he made a racial slur as well as a racial demonstration towards the Dodgers pitcher, Yu Darvish, where he hit a homer off of him, and apparently he struggled against Yu Darvish over the years, so when he hit his homer off of him, he gets back in the dugout, and then he squints his eyes, and then he voices Chinito, which is basically in Latin terms little Asian boy.
Damn.
And so what happened was the commish, he reviewed it. He sat and talked with Yu Darvish, and Yu was like, "Look, I don't really have an issue with it. It is what it is. But I understand from my heritage and my culture." I want to move past this because this has potential to be a distraction. I don't want to be a distraction, but the sad part of it is that he did this, and I can guarantee there's Asian fans who root for the Astros. And so once he said that, the commish basically was like, you know what? I could suspend him for the rest of the series, which would have made all the sense in the world, but he took a standpoint where he's like, I'm not going to punish his 24 teammates, so instead I'm just going to hit him in his pockets. So he's actually going to be suspended for the first 5 games of next season. For the action, so we'll see how that plays out.
And when it comes to Bruce Maxwell, I feel this story is so fishy to me.
Yeah,
this shit's fishy as hell.
So for those if the name doesn't resonate, Bruce Maxwell was the Oakland A's player that was the first MLB player that took the knee during the national anthem. Report came out. I found out early this morning. He got arrested on a gun charge. Yeah. And the story is weird in itself. I don't know if you read the details of it. It's just a really weird-ass story. Yeah. Where it's one of those ones where, for those who don't know, go check it out. It's one of those ones where it's like, on one hand, it's like, he is an athlete. Athletes do make stupid moves. But when you actually start thinking about it, it's like, wait, what? Like, this shit, it's fishy, like you said. It
doesn't make no damn sense.
It stinks of conspiracy, but we'll
see how that plays out.
We'll definitely see how it plays out.
So NFL.
As far as the NFL goes, we actually got some breaking news.
Yeah.
Before we came on air, there were trade deadlines this week. The Seahawks traded with the Texans for their former offensive lineman, Dwayne Brown.
Gives a fuck.
They give a. Well, I know you don't give a fuck because it's the Seahawks.
No,
but
both of them.
No, for the Seahawks it's significant because, of course, if you've seen or heard about their offensive line, it's garbage. So they actually get
trash. That's why I don't care.
So Dwayne Brown played for the Seahawks and left to go to Houston, and I guess Houston didn't have a use for him. So the Seahawks was like, "Hey, what's up, baby?
We get him.
Hey, what's up, baby? We need you back, G. Come on now." And they brought him back.
Yeah.
The second deal. I was thinking you would have some more excitement about it, but clearly you're zoned the fuck out from this season.
I've become so numb.
Yeah. The Patriots have traded quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers for their 2018 second-round pick.
They said, yeah, Belichick said, run that.
Yeah, Busby and I were joking about this before we went on air. I can definitely see a future where Jimmy Garoppolo is either as close to the savior as possible, or he does just well enough to get the Niners back into the mix before they get a new quarterback. Meanwhile, Belichick...
Before Kirk Cousins shows up.
No, Kirk Cousins out the mix. They've already said that he's completely wiped out the mix now.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I see a future where that takes place, and in this same future, Belichick picks some player that we've only remotely heard of 1 or 2 times, and by the 3rd year, we're hailing this guy as the
second coming of Christ in football.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Yeah,
there's some about Belichick. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he sees, but he finds these gems in the draft, and next thing you know, all you can do is just be like, how did my team miss this guy?
They got Tom Brady in a fluke. He was like, what, the 32nd pick? And he was like some random nigga they just picked up?
32nd pick? I mean, maybe 32nd pick in the 6th round. Maybe.
That's what I meant. They picked him on some fluke shit. That's what I mean to tell you.
Yeah, shit. I don't know, dude. I don't know how they do it.
But when it comes to my Niners, we might as well talk about these niggas now.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
That's all I got to say. That's the silence I have is how many wins we have. It's just silence.
Damn, this Lord can't good as motherfucker.
I mean, just what is there to say? We got our ass raped by the fucking Eagles. I mean,
don't feel bad, man. They arguably the best team in the NFL right now.
Don't just like Eagles fans going like, yeah, last time we was 7-1. We went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you niggas lost.
That's the first half of the season for you, man. That's the first half.
It's funny when you go back and listen to the episodes, you hear how mad I am. It's like Nas at the ending of One Mic, how pissed off he was, and then every episode I just get calmer and calmer, and then that's pretty much what I am right now. I'm Nas at the end of One Mic. All I need is one win.
Your FJYs aren't even as potent anymore. Like it just rolls off the tongue. Like you just say it just because the fans expect it at this point.
Yeah, fuck Jed York. But I don't even mean it like that. Shit. And also, I can't really say it on Twitter anymore because they suspend me.
Yeah.
If they limit my shit, then I got limited again because I talked about the whole ass nigga in office. Yeah, that's another. I had to start. Story.
I had to start the hashtag Free Busby.
I was silent for 12 hours.
He was a prisoner in them Twitter streets for his political views, for reasons I don't agree with, but apparently Twitter is locking everybody up at this point for just bullshit reasons. Like, if you talk bad, like, I'm sure a Nicki stan or a Barb at this point is going to get you suspended for just saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, they did say, I'm going to report you. That's why I'm very careful of what I say about Nicki, and I don't say nothing about their fans. I just let them choke themselves. If anything, I could just report them, but that'd be bitch shit. And I ain't a bitch.
But you remind me of a jackass.
But you remind me of a jackass. But, see, that made me laugh. What the Niners did yesterday, I was numb. I watched Stranger Things. And people kept, I looked back and, it's just, we got a new quarterback. He ain't going to help us. He going to probably get injured too.
Yeah.
And, and we're going to get rid of Hoyer. Yay, we're going to get rid of him 8 weeks into the fucking season.
Yeah, so that was actually a part of, it wasn't a part of the deal, but it was set in motion as to something that was going to take place after this deal, which was now that they got the quarterback in place, they're expected to release Brian Hoyer as early as tomorrow.
As early as when this podcast goes up, that nigga is gone. So
more than likely.
Good the fuck riddance, nigga. Trash ass nigga.
Hey man, it's not his fault. They gave him the money. What you want the man to do? What you want him to do? I keep saying this.
Take off that jersey and go hit the streets. Work the corner. You probably fucked that up too.
Maybe.
Ain't no maybe. Well, fuck him.
Speaking of taking to the streets, it was actually kind of a big week in the NFL off the field. Once
so
again,
you're just gonna ignore your damn Raiders, huh?
Oh no! I want to talk about this first because that's gonna funnel into my plan. Again, just let me control the sports. Like I said, I'll get you there. Just trust me, it all makes sense in the end. So you had the Texans owner Bob McNair.
Oh him.
Yeah. Was it Thursday or Friday?
They had the owners meeting and shit.
Basically, and he was being interviewed, and he basically, I don't know if he's being interviewed or if he said it. No, I'm sorry, he said it you're right. He said it in the meeting. Quote, "We can't have inmates running the prison." End quote.
I'm not surprised he said that.
What I found funny about this was people were defending it like, what? That's the saying. And it's like, no, motherfucker, that's not the saying. The saying is, we can't have the patients running the asylum. This completely, I don't even want to call it a misjudgment because it probably is how he feels. And if that's how he feels, I mean, the one thing...
Fuck you.
It's definitely fuck him, but at the same time, it's like, yo, at least you was honest about it. At least you let your true feelings come out. Because if you see your players as inmates, shit, for simply protesting...
They got the slave mentality now, and pretty much like said in these notes, like DeAndre Hopkins just said, "Fuck y'all, you don't want to practice."
Oh yeah,
they had to persuade the players to stay during practice, and honestly, they still played because I mean they did like what's it called? Like I said to you, I saw the video, I saw the picture, and damn near the entire. Pretty much all the black people, including a little bit of white, they all took a knee, except for some white folks.
All but 10 players. And the most interestingly thing about that was because they played the Seahawks in Seattle. They took a knee, and rather than get harassed and booed by it, the fans of Seattle applauded them during that whole damn national anthem.
See, to me, it's cool, but them niggas shouldn't have played. You know what would have been a real protest?
I agree with that for sure.
A real protest would have been like, we ain't playing. And they had to forfeit the game. That's how you would have took action. Now, if they would have did that shit, then other players would have followed suit, and then these owners would have been like, "Oh shit, we fucking up." Because these owners still don't got a fucking clue.
I definitely agree with that for sure.
Don't.
Now, as I've said, the season in itself, I've been conflicted going back and forth, but I'm still a fan of the storylines. So on one hand, I'm like, I'm glad they played because we got one hell of a performance from Deshaun Watson. Like, that dude is the truth. Side note that actually funnels into this. I mean, I know y'all 0-8, but at least y'all ain't the Browns 0-8 because there's something specific that I want to pinpoint on the Browns 0-8. There were 2 draft picks that the Browns traded away. Those picks ended up becoming Carson Wentz for the Eagles and Deshaun Watson for the Texans. Both of those quarterbacks have thrown for 19 touchdowns this year. All 3 of the quarterbacks who have thrown for the Browns this year have combined for 17 interceptions. So I understand where you're coming from. Going through starting the season 0-10 in 2014, I can definitely agree. But one thing I will say to you is y'all ain't the Browns 0-8. That's some shit that's going to haunt them along with every other bad list of picks they've made and didn't make for the rest of eternity.
0-8's 0-8.
Yeah. So on one hand, from a story plot line, I'm glad they played, but from the sense of it, no, I 100% agree with you. If you want to make that hardcore statement, don't even show up on the plane. Go home, relax, take a seat, enjoy yourself.
And what are you going to do with the whole team that quit? What are you going to do? You're going to find every single one of them? What you going to do when you don't have a team to play against? You got to call niggas from the street and just nigga, what the fuck you going to do?
Right, so McNair came out and he released this bullshit apology.
Man gives a fuck.
It's you know, one thing about it is that I laugh at this whole situation because the owners that thought this was all going to go away if Kaepernick was out of the NFL.
Oh, it made it worse. They became a distraction.
They're the ones that have made this a distraction. From all the way from the offseason up to this point. They're the ones who have actually made this a distraction. And I'm laughing at it this whole time because it's so funny to me. It's like, all this, you all thought that just one player was worth all of this. One player.
Yeah, even Jamila Hill said it. She's like, I just want to ask NFL owners, was trying to keep Kaepernick out the NFL really worth it? Was it really worth it at the end of the day? Because now look at it. Now everyone's looking at the NFL sideways now. Everybody's looking at y'all. Like, come on.
And speaking on Cap, they actually invited him to the next players owners meeting, which will take place this week.
They said it was supposed to. I heard it got called off.
I wouldn't doubt it. I
think I heard a report of that,
but somebody was telling me it was a rumor at the time. But I wouldn't write that off. I'll go back and look at it, but I think you are right.
Yeah, they called it off, and not only that, they said that Kaepernick wasn't even invited to it.
Interesting. Because the reports were that
I read that.
The reports were that he got invited, but I think you may have got the most recent update where they might have canceled that meeting. At the end of the day, this shit got to get squared away, man. Because like I said,
just let them do what they want to do. If you just bring Kaepernick back, let him allow to play on the team, and let him do what he has to do. But at this point, the damage is already done. These niggas are just making the boo boo bigger and bigger and bigger. So. Yeah. So I mean that's where they stand with that. And then you had the Bears tight end. So in the same gruesome family as we saw Gordon Hayward go down, I don't know if you saw this clip. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm gonna watch it because I'm fucking sick in the head when it comes to
so I mean I can take it, you know what I'm saying? I can take it because my mama went back to school when I was little, getting her nursing degree. So I was used to watching the TLC channel while eating spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Like I can take it. I just didn't know if you were. But if you were, go ahead and watch it. So Gordon Hayward, we remember his ankle faced one way and his leg was facing the other way. Tight end Zach Miller, his knee was facing one way and the rest of his leg was facing the other way. So badly so that the surgeons were actually fearful that they weren't actually going to be able to save his leg.
So did it get saved?
They saved it, but there was some damage to his artery. That's why they were nervous and fearful that they weren't going to be able to get it popped back into place. But
so pretty much his
season's a wrap. It's to be confirmed with his career.
Season, I'm one of his that's what I mean. Yeah, his career might be a wrap.
It's to be said what comes of his career. We wish him all the best. The Bears actually came out today, and they had a statement saying it was a successful procedure. We keep our prayers and thoughts with Zach, and we'll see where it goes from there. Zach Miller, he's on the back end of his career, anyways. He actually played for the Raiders, I think, my first year with them. So I mean, he's been in the league for a while, and honestly, if this is one of them cases where you can't play, look, man, cut your losses and take your blessings, and you made a decent amount of money. Get the hell out now, because it's definitely when you go back and watch that shit. You'll actually cringe at this more than you cringe on a full-fledged head-on-head collision at 90 miles an hour. Like it was one of those. It was one of those.
And what's his name? Got put on a practice squad, huh?
Yeah, Martavis Bryant. So like we mentioned last week, he was having issues. He wasn't getting on the field as much as Juju was, and Juju made a hell of a reception last night. It's like 97-yard touchdown.
Damn.
So he took to social media, aired out his issues, but he wasn't talking with everybody in house. And Jacina Anderson, who's on ESPN NFL Live, she said she talked with him and asked him, "Well, have you talked with Coach Mike Tomlin?" And he's like, "Yeah, we've talked, but we never bring this up." And she's like, kind of looking at like, this just sounds like a badass marriage. Like, y'all just need counseling. Well, Mike Tomlin was under the mind frame. He's like, "Look, fuck all that. We ain't going to be dealing with this shit in the public. We ain't trading him. He's too valuable." But as a matter of fact, because he broke, code as far as social media goes, not only is he not going to suit up for us this weekend, he's taking practice squad reps this week in practice. And
that's petty as hell.
Yeah. At the same time, I support it. Because if it's got to that point and they ask you, "Well, have you talked to the coach?" "Yeah, we talked, but, we just haven't talked about this." It's like, well, my nigga. You ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to let these folks know. And while I commend him for staying on the right track, in all likelihood he wouldn't be in this situation had he stayed clear and not got suspended all last year for the weed, the drug test. So we'll see how that plays out this week, because I'm sure the chapter's still going with that. Now I know you want me to get on my Raiders. I'll get on them.
Yeah.
He was in Buffalo. The first drive was amazing. Got in the end zone. Of course, Marshawn got suspended for his actions last Thursday. He went to Oakland Tech and he was practicing. He was knocking high school kids right on their ass, which is some bullshit because now they got that under investigation for whatever reason. But
for what?
Exactly. Like, come on, man. Whatever. But that's another story. In the meantime, check out the latest episode of No Script.
No Script.
Shit's funny. Hilarious. You thought you laughed during the Star Wars?
Yeah, I saw it. I watched it.
The first drive started off good. After that, I couldn't tell you what the hell happened after that. I don't know.
Y'all went to sleep. I don't know what the hell's happening with y'all this season, man.
I'm hoping we can start, go with the second half 8-0 or 7-1 to keep the playoff hopes, but it's looking bleak right now. They're basically doing the same thing because this week they got the Sunday Nighter in Miami. So, the same thing, as the reason why I missed one episode during the season last year when we stayed in Sarasota. That's where they're at right now. They'll be there till the end of the week. Hopefully they can get it fixed and get everything switched together because it's 3-5, man. It hurts.
It's looking scary. It's looking pretty spooky
honestly,
now.
I'll be sitting on this damn couch and I'm like, shit, is it my fault? Like, did I take the juice with me down here and give it to the Dodgers? Like, shit.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Like, damn. We'll see how it plays out from there. Damn, that was a hit. And then last but not least, newly retired wide receiver Steve Smith. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw it live. I was laughing my ass off. So apparently, I don't know. I never really thought there was a real beef with him and Michael Irvin from NFL Network.
I don't think there is. I think he just took shit up the ass, bro.
And going back and looking at it, Michael Irvin has made some slick-ass comments towards him, and looking at his responses during those interviews, it's like, okay, maybe it is a one-sided beef. Well, they were on set this week, and Michael Irvin was laughing, just joking up, laughing, and, he tells him, I promised my wife, I wouldn't be, making jokes about you, especially how your pants is looking tonight. And everybody started laughing, except for Steve Smith.
Steve Smith said, you know what? I'm going to fly out to L.A., I'm going to whoop your ass.
And they were all laughing, except for Steve Smith.
But he wasn't.
He was dead ass serious and just looked away. And I was like, oh, it's on. Like, this ain't a joking matter, it's on. But the funny thing about it was everybody kept saying, oh, yeah, you don't want to fuck with Steve Smith. Like, I'm taking Steve Smith. I'm probably in the minority where I'm like, yo, y'all must have forgot that in his prime, Michael Irvin actually took scissors to a nigga's back.
His prime. He's old as fuck now.
And that's my point. He's old as fuck, which means he's even more desperate now. You never want to give any disrespect to the man that's got desperation and ain't got shit to lose in a fight. So from that stand, I'll say it's a push. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Irvin got it. I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Smith whooped his ass. All I know is set up the fight. Let's get it. I want to see the fuckery.
Like Babs from Making the Bed. Let him fight!
Exactly. If it's going to get to that point, just let him go at it.
You really enjoy the fuckery, don't you?
Oh, I love it, man. You got to learn to embrace it. Like,
I embrace it kind of. I know when to embrace the fuckery.
I'll give it to you. Like, your patience level just isn't as high as mine, and your tolerance isn't there.
No. Well, when it comes to fuckery, I have zero patience for certain fuckery. But let's say, okay, when it's Kendrick versus Drake, and I know everyone's gonna lose their fucking minds, I can't wait for that. When Cardi disses Nicki and everyone has to choose sides and shit, and Twitter has a meltdown, I can't wait for that. Shit like that. Yeah. But this shit, whatever, fighting, you were waiting for the Chris Brown Soulja Boy shit.
Still never got it.
You wanted that shit to happen. It didn't happen. But whatever. Let's go on NBA.
All right, so
wrap this up.
So for our NBA, we'll go through this real quick. 76ers rookie Markelle Fultz, he's probably done for the rest of this year. They actually had to drain fluid out of his damn shoulder, which is why he's been shooting so fucked up all this year. We'll see how it goes with that. Former power forward Al Harrington played for the Warriors during the We Believe year. He did an interview with former Commissioner David Stern because Al Harrington's now in the cannabis business. He's doing pretty damn well, too. Okay. He did an interview. I think it was for Uninterrupted or the Undisputed, whatever LeBron's attached to. Anyways, David Stern finally came out and said, you know what, I think we're at a point where marijuana should be legal in the NBA.
That should be for all sports, in my opinion. It
definitely should, considering the fact that in Major League Baseball and the National Hockey League, they don't test for marijuana. And there's a reason. It's no secret why they test for the NFL and NBA. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, weed.
Yeah. So, of course, the NBA's light years ahead of the NFL in terms of, how they produce their product, how they adapt, and most importantly, how they treat their players. They treat them as partners. Whereas in the NFL, it's very clear they don't see their players as equals. So it's only going to be a matter of time before that gets... I mean, Commissioner Adam Silver's already talking about, the gambling within the NBA and how there's certain, upsides to it. So, I mean, if he's still talking about that, it's only a matter of time before this becomes legal in the NBA. To piggyback off of what Texans owner Bob McNair said, Draymond Green was actually in the news for two reasons. The first has to deal with that. So they asked him about his comments on Bob McNair, And Draymond's one of those players where you hate him if he's not on your team. You love him if he's on your team. But when he's giving interviews and he's introspective, he keeps it funky, and you got nothing but respect for the man. He kept it all the way funky on this. He said, you know what, if that's how you see your players as prisoners, I feel sorry for you, and I wouldn't want to play for you. I mean, that's crazy how you could actually, you see them as that and not... Yeah. And he's like, I didn't know that, Deshaun Watson could be seen as that when he's giving away paychecks to employees that were suffering in a hurricane. I didn't know Kaepernick was seen as that when he's, passing out suits to the homeless who are looking for jobs. And one thing that resonated, he's like, I know prisoners, and prisoners don't pay taxes. Prisoners ain't leaders in the community.
Draymond just kept it funky.
He kept it funky, and then you know what happens when you keep it funky. Niggas
want funk.
Niggas want funk, and that's exactly what happened when they were playing the Washington Wizards. So I don't know if it started with.
You saw the clip. I saw.
Yeah, but I don't know if it started with Beal or if it started. I keep forgetting Cat's name. Who initially started with. Either way, Bradley Beal, he sucker punched him. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I said, I hate the Warriors, but I love the players individually. He sucker punched Draymond. Let's just call it what it is. And Draymond, being Draymond, he turned around and was like, "Yo, man." We just grabbed them, and these
niggas just wrestled to the ground.
And they went in.
Now I thought we were gonna get Pistons and what was it, Pacers?
Nah, we come a long way from that.
I know, but still, I enjoyed that fuckery. Okay, I'm down with the fuckery. I'm down with that fuckery.
So they got to fight. Of course, both get ejected. Unfortunately. He didn't even throw a punch, and he still got fined just based on his history.
Ripped his jersey.
Yeah,
too.
like I said, as a Warriors hater, I laughed at it. It was hilarious. It was funny. The basketball fan on me, he didn't deserve that. Like, he was just defending himself, man. Like, come on, man. Like, let Draymond live, man. Pray the real live forever.
And not only that, I don't know if you stay on the Warriors because since it's Halloween coming, fucking I don't know if you saw this, but fucking
Steph rolled in as Jigsaw.
Steph rolled in as Jigsaw with the fucking Saw theme song playing in the background, and rolled to the locker room, and you see Draymond have this look on his face.
He's just staring out, just laughing. And what's funny is that the security's the same security for the Raiders games, so I was recognizing a bunch of them. They're busting up laughing, taking pictures. And I'm like, shit, at the end of the night, I was like, damn, that was almost as funny as the fact that they lost to the goddamn Pistons.
Man, you knew that was coming.
You lost, niggas. So that covers the NBA.
And NCAA, that happened?
Yeah, wow. We'll breeze through this real quick. So,
is this what you told me you wanted my live reaction for?
We're going to finish off with something that relates to the NBA, but I wanted to go to here first. So before we get into this, I'm gonna cover football real quick. One hell of a game between Penn State and Ohio State. That shit might be NCAA football game of the year until we get to the playoffs. That was intense. Lamar Jackson, I don't know what more we can say about the quarterback from Louisville. Kid's a stud. He's gonna beat somebody. There's that. Football around on the college level is great. Miami's doing their thing. They still undefeated. That's that. Now, for basketball. North Carolina's point guard, Joel Berry, he got so pissed off while he was taking an ass whooping in NBA 2K, he punched the damn door and he broke his damn hand. And now he's out 8 weeks. Now, fortunately for North Carolina, it's early enough.
What 2K does.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, it's early enough to where, he's just going to be missing those tournaments that really don't mean shit. But still, it's like, come on, man, for real. Like,
2K's that game, man.
And you know what it was? Like, initially I asked, like, for real. But then when they broke down the details, I could kind of see why. He wasn't getting his ass whooped by his teammates. He was getting his ass whooped by the equipment manager. So I get it, because when it's just your teammates, like, you're on the same level, so per se. Like, you both gonna have to see each other on the court. And just because one person talking shit about 2K don't mean you ain't gonna be giving them that business when it's actual practice. You know what I'm saying? When you want against the equipment manager, like, I'm going to tell you right now, us as staff, we let the players have it. Because, like, you know what I'm saying, we know they don't see us as just fans. They see us as guys that they can confide in and be cool and chill with. If you give us the opportunity, and there's been plenty of opportunities where we've had staff and players go at it within the Raiders organization, if you give us that wind of opportunity to go at you, trust you me, we going to let you have it. So I can understand Joel Berry's perspective on that. Finally, last but not least, I wanted to save this for real time.
I want to hear this shit.
Have you heard about the situation with Stephen A. Smith and J.R. Smith?
No.
Okay, so last week, Stephen A. goes on a tangent about how he feels it's completely terrible that Nike has introduced these warm-up hoodies for the players to wear on the sidelines. And his reason was actually pretty disparaging and embarrassing in a way. He brought up the fact that, it's going to remind white folks of Trayvon Martin. And I'm like, wait, really? What the hell are you talking about? Where are you going with this?
For real.
And the one person he uses as his example is J.R. Smith. Because...
Why J.R. Smith?
Exactly. I was asking the same question until then we go into the details of it. So remember, Dwayne Wade is now with Cleveland. And at the time, Dwayne Wade was starting. J.R. was a champion as a starter, so he didn't appreciate it, but he understood it. He played his role. I guess at the time frame of it, in the Celtics game, he was sitting on the bench and he had the hood on. And, he's just there sulking. You shouldn't have hoods on the sideline anyway. Well, JR decided...
What did JR say?
Yeah, he went to Twitter, clapped back, and basically, in a long story short, because we ain't got that much time, he was saying, keep my name out your mouth for all those public purposes. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's just be honest, your show been shit since Skip left anyways.
Oh, damn.
And that...
Well, it's the truth.
And that brought out the complete savage in Stephen A. this morning. Stephen A. then came on First Take, and he said, you know what, I wasn't even really talking about JR. I was just using him as the example. I'll even apologize for it because I feel one way, and maybe Nike sales are going through the roof. And then the savagery came out. Came out and said, you know what? And in actuality, as I look back on it, I should apologize to J.R. Smith because he has every reason to be wearing that hood compared to seeing as how he's been playing all year. And he went in and broke down every stat. My God almighty. It was one of those ones where you're like, damn, Stephen A., why? Let him live. Shit.
He just shitted on his whole career pretty much.
And when you think it's over, we're going to talk about it next week because JR went on Twitter and basically said, you still cooning for the TV.
Damn.
Oh, it's on.
Well,
it's on. Smith versus Smith, baby. Smith versus Smith.
You had to embrace the fuckery.
You got JR, you got Stephen A.
Oh, God, man. See, we gave y'all another 2 fucking hours. That's why I told y'all, if y'all still listen to this, that's why I said, we get to the sports talk, you can end it right there. But if you got this far, man, y'all
salute to y'all. We appreciate y'all staying there for these longer editions as we close down the year. But again, it's a lot of material keeps coming out, and we want to give y'all the best episode we could give y'all, and we got to cover on it. So sometimes you get these hour and a half long. Other times you get a full length film. Shit.
Anyway, so you got any plans for Halloween?
Hell no. I'm trying to go to the Lakers game tomorrow. Tickets as low as $15.
See, I was thinking I might do something. I might, man. No, I'm staying my ass at home.
Ain't nothing out there but trouble, G.
Yeah, it's Halloween. Yeah. People already got dressed up over the weekend. Plus, Halloween's on a Tuesday. So random. On a Tuesday. The Tuesday is such a blah day.
Yeah.
It's just blah.
Yeah.
Monday is you're getting the week ready. It's Tuesday's just there.
Right.
Just there. Wednesday's hump day, like you always call it. Thursday is it's almost time to Friday. It's like Friday Eve. And then Friday, it's for real. Then it's the weekend. And then all over again.
Thursday's that one day that always pops up. Me and my boy D'Angelo, who works in player development with the Raiders, every time we would realize what day it was always Thursday. And we just stare at each other like, what's today, G? And we just look at each other and just shake our heads and then go about our way. We would never say it was Thursday. We would just be like, what's today? Realize it was Thursday and we walk away.
That's a mean girl. That's a mean girl shit.
Basically.
Well, what day is it? It's October 3rd. Oh, okay. Well, on that note, this is yet another long edition of the Little Logical Sense podcast. Thank you all for listening.
Appreciate y'all so much.
Follow us on Twitter. Leave comments. Actually, leave comments. Leave reviews.
We love the feedback. We get feedback every week. There's positives
on Twitter,
definitely
text messages. But you also just leave comments. Leave comments in the SoundCloud. Leave comments on the the iTunes.
Leave comments for us on Twitter and Facebook where we post this shit. You know what I'm saying? Hit
real.
us on Snapchat. Hit us up on Instagram. You can find us anywhere. Shit, if you listening and you recognize us down the street.
Instagram.
I mean, if you see us down the street, don't just stop us. You know what I'm saying? Because I get in real protective mode. I swing on people I don't know that just rush me. I've had situations in the past. Plus, I'm small, so
hey, I'm you a add those. Nigga, so everyone knows better.
Yeah,
than
you add those two in with
me.
You know what I'm saying? Like this beard just didn't get grown out to be grown. You know what I'm saying? This beard got grown out as a defense mechanism too. Let you know
I'll whoop your ass.
But if you happen to see us and be like JC no hundreds as a bridge gap in between that, then I'll realize you know where we coming from. We can chop up conversation right there on the street. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know what's going to be longer, the Chris Brown album or this episode. But we'll let y'all know next week. Chris Brown
album going to be 3 days.
3 days, 45 fucking tracks, and out his black ass mind.
I'm telling you, we're going to do it in installments, man.
I guess. Well, anyway, this is episode 63 of the Illogical Sense Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Appreciate y'all.
And of course, yeah, you really thought I was going to say it now, huh?
Oh, you are going to say
it? Wrong. No, I am. Fuck Jed York. Bye. Bye.